can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your work for ESTA?
Sure. So in a broader sense for me, very much centered these days on guitar education, but obviously still performing classical guitar as well. But a lot of my work is as head of guitar at the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama, based in Cardiff. So that's undergrad and postgrad level guitarists. But I also look after the National Youth Guitar Ensemble for the UK. So I have a lot of connections there, whilst still maintaining my sort of private practice, which I think I've always been really conscious of keeping broad. So keeping, starting beginners off, kids, adults, people who've had more experience. So I really feel it's been important to me to be connected to all sort of like all parts of the musical journey, actually.
You've been a mentor on this course now for several years. What do you think are the main benefits for students doing either the PGCert course or continuing to do the MA?
I think this is a huge thing for me, actually. Simply because just reflecting on how so many of us historically entered the profession, but my feelings are probably still do. We enter from an area of expertise. So we've become good at doing what we do, and we want to share that and want to sort of help others start or develop their playing. But actually, the sort of focus has been on being expert ourselves. It hasn't actually been necessarily on what skills do you need to translate that expert knowledge into being, able to share that in a way that gives the best possible sort of journey, I suppose, for your students. So I think that's where these courses are absolutely vital, and I think the beauty for me is, it's taking you from a point of having some experience. So it's not a theoretical exercise before you launch yourself out into the profession. It's taking the experience you already have, whether that's just a few years or even smaller amount of time, or someone who's highly experienced. And I've had absolutely both ends of that spectrum. But it's giving you a chance to have conversations, to learn more about sort of the wider craft, to become inspired, actually, and also to put that in practice in real time. You're still immersed in your teaching. It's the fact for me that the course runs alongside what you do. So it's, yes, if you have an idea, you can immediately go and test it and see what shifts, or does it come with the expectation that you thought it would, or the result? So it's, I mean, I love it. I love being a mentor, and I love that also because I feel I am enriched as well with these conversations.
What do you think you've learned yourself from mentoring on the course?
Do you know, I'm going to say like vast, vast amounts.
Me too. Yeah.
So it's been I feel it's revolutionized my teaching approach, and just opened my eyes to different routes and different explorations. I think one of the biggest shifts it's given me is that sort of reflection on teaching being a two-way conversation. And I think when we go back, when I reflect sort of my sort of own receiving of teaching, there was, especially traditionally, that very hierarchical, this is how it goes, I know what it is because I'm your teacher and I'm going to tell you how to do it, and I'm probably going to tell you exactly how to play it as well. And that couldn't be further from my instinctive approach for teaching these days, but also that idea that I've been able to just think more about questioning, and exploring and being curious, and sort of like finding that as a distinct and unique quality in every student. Every lesson is a different lesson. No students are the same. We know these sort of cliches, but it really has connected me much more deeply with that.
So again, thinking about the students that you've mentored so far, can you give me some examples of things are there any common strands? What are teachers really interested in developing?
Well,
Do you think?
I think yes. I mean, what are teachers interested in developing? I think there are definitely sort of threads that run through most of the students I've been mentoring, which is, it's an isolated experience being in that room with either a single student, or even if you're teaching a whole class, it's still you as the professional and the expert. It is an isolated experience. You're just doing amazing things quite probably, but actually you don't have the chance to share that with other people very easily, especially in the flow of work for us all. I always feel with sort of colleagues, especially in some of the schools I've taught in, feel like we're ships that pass in the night. We
Definitely.
might see each other going into the next door room, and we might hear to some extent each other's sound worlds coming together, but we don't have those conversations. And I think that's one of the brilliant things about this for the mentees, to be able to have those conversations with one another and develop their sort of teaching network. But I think also that reflection, when do we get the time and the space to reflect on actually how we teach, and really the content, and one of the units that we do that really goes deeply into that, I think everyone has found revealing. I find it revealing for me as well, and it did significantly change my flow of lessons, sort of reflecting on that. So I think that's what people want. They want time and space to be able to reflect. We want new ideas. I mean, I love hearing someone who has such a brilliant way of doing something. I go, oh my goodness, that I can't wait to try it. And that's probably where I'm coming from as well. It's that space and time you've created for yourself, but it's not the big, I have to stop what I'm doing, I'm going to retrain, or I'm going to go away and do something else. It's sort of absorbed into the flow of your everyday life, and I think it's enriched for that as well.